2, 1.
All right, hey there, it's Master Mershad with Ultimate Leadership Martial Arts, and I have our Instructor Series video here on perspective. And we talked about this a little bit in the past, but really the perspective from the parent's eyes of what happens on your training floor is so huge that we want to make sure we take our time to really think about what does this look like from the viewing area, okay? What does this look like from the sidelines? And this came to me, you know, when I'm so used to teaching classes, and when I'm not here, I have my instructors. They teach classes for me when I'm not here. Well, I've gone to sometimes having my instructors teach class while I am here, and that way I can watch. And as I'm watching my instructors teach class, different things stand out as positives and negatives, and that really made me think, what does it look like when I'm teaching? When I get distracted, or when I'm talking to a student, or when I'm teaching a drill, what happens when the parent sits back there and they're thinking, are they really paying attention to my child as much as they should? So a couple things came to me. Number one, you want to make sure that your instructors take the time to recognize good and bad behaviors on the floor, okay? For example, let's say you're teaching a drill and there's a target pad drill and one of your instructors is walking around with a target pad in their hand and they're just kind of popping it, you know, just kind of walking around making noise with it. What that does is it takes attention away from the main instructor, takes attention away from the kids. Maybe it's distracting, okay? That's just an example. It could be as the instructors, or I'm sorry, as the students clear off to go get their sparring pads on, the instructors start horsing around, or pick up a weapon and train with it. Even if it's a cool drill that you're doing with the weapon, it still, to the parents, may look like you're just kind of goofing off a little bit, okay? And so what we want to do is think you're the guy or gal paying the bill for Taekwondo lessons or for martial arts classes, and you're watching the program, you're watching the class. What would you want, or what would you expect out of the instructors, both teaching and assisting in class? Number one, you want them to pay attention to your child. So if your child's going with their right foot instead of the left foot out, and that doesn't get corrected, they're going to think their child's not getting the attention. And so especially when there's just a couple instructors helping with a class, you want to make sure that you're walking around, you're getting to every child. The second thing is that you're giving the positive praise to every child. We've talked about this in tons of videos before, and you've heard about this if you've ever taught a martial arts class, that you want to try to make positive contact at least 3 times each class with each student throughout each class. So if I'm doing that, that's going to take an intentional effort from me going around to each student. And as a parent, when I watch my kid getting a high five and the smile on their face, that goes a long way with me. And my kids have to do Taekwondo. They're stuck in it, all right? So the parents that are paying for it, you know, that's what they want. It's that positive reinforcement. It's not just a sales gimmick. This is what we do. We're motivators, we inspire, and we set that bar high of what we expect out of our kids. When they do it, man, you got to give them that high five, and you got to pat them on the back and tell them good job. And that confidence is what we want them to gain. Okay, they gain the confidence, then they go to the next level and they train even harder, and eventually they're going to tournaments getting gold medals, and it's because of your persistence and positive backing them up with positive you know, praises. All right, so that's one key right there. The next key is when there's a lot of instructors. Okay, I've got some classes where we've got several junior instructors, several super juniors, and a couple adults helping with class, and sometimes it can be a little much. So we want to make sure that when there's a lot of instructors assisting in one class, that we go to kind of a zone defense, okay? Everybody has their area of the mat, but we still have to make sure that we maintain the professionalism of not horsing around or goofing off on the sidelines, going up to the equipment area and kind of playing with the equipment. We want to make sure that if we're assisting in class, that we're fully engaged in that class. We don't step off the floor to get a drink of water. We don't step off the floor to go and grab a snack in the middle of class. That when we are helping with class, we are fully engaged with that class, because one minute you're helping their child with their form, the next minute they see you in the lobby eating a candy bar. You know, we want to make sure that if we're in the class, we're in the class. And then when that class is over, you know, if you need a minute in between classes, let the teaching instructor know that you need a break for a minute to go grab something to eat or something like that. And if that's okay, if that works into the timeline, then great. But we want to make sure that the parents, as they sit back in our lobbies watching our classes going on, that they understand, okay, that instructor's helping with my kid's class, and they're involved. Not just they're here kind of going back and forth, okay? So fully engaged with the class, helping every student when they're doing something wrong, in a positive way, and then again positive reinforcement when they do something right. And what happens when you positively encourage one kid, the guy next to them starts raising up their energy level and starts trying even harder. But you have to recognize that and praise him, and before you know it, the entire class is on fire, and you've got all your curriculum for the class taught. You've got like extra minutes left in class, and you're not knowing what to do. That's a good problem to have. All right, my name is Michael Mershad with Ultimate Leadership Martial Arts.